the betrayal and rejection. The healer's dream. Luna woke before dawn, as she always did, with her heart full of hope. Today was the day she had waited for since she was 15 years old. Today was the mating ceremony. And today, Beta Damien would finally claim her as his mate in front of the entire Silvercrest pack. She touched the small silver pendant around her neck, the one Damien had given her 3 years ago under the full moon. He had held her hands and promised her that when she turned 18, when she was old enough for the mating bond, he would choose her. No matter what anyone said. No matter that she was just an Omega healer and he was the pack's second in command. Luna's rooms in the healer's cottage were simple but clean. She had worked hard to make them comfortable, filling the shelves with dried herbs and healing potions, hanging bundles of lavender and sage from the ceiling beams. As an Omega, she was not allowed to live in the main pack house, but she did not mind. Her cottage near the forest was peaceful, and she took pride in her work as a healer. She dressed carefully in the pale blue dress she had saved money for months to buy. It was simple compared to what the higher-ranking females would wear, but it was the prettiest thing she owned. She braided her long dark hair with small white flowers woven through it, a traditional Omega style for mating ceremonies. The ceremony begins. The ceremony was held in the Great Hall of the Pack House, a massive stone building that had stood for 200 years. Every member of Silvercrest Pack over the age of 12 was required to attend. Luna arrived early, her hands shaking with nervous excitement as she took her place among the other unmated wolves. The hall filled quickly with pack members dressed in their finest clothes. Luna spotted her few friends among the other Omegas, and they smiled at her with encouragement. Everyone knew about her relationship with Damien. Everyone knew he had been courting her for 3 years. Today would make it official. Alpha Marcus entered first, a powerful man in his 50s with gray streaking his dark hair. Beside him walked his daughter, Celeste, wearing a dress of deep red that must have cost more than Luna earned in a year. Celeste was beautiful in the way that high-ranking wolves often were, with perfect features and confidence that came from never being told no. Luna had never been friends with Celeste, but she had never been enemies either. Celeste rarely noticed Omegas at all, treating them like furniture in the pack house. Luna had accepted this as normal. That was simply how pack hierarchy worked. The arrival of the beta. Then Damien entered, and Luna's breath caught. He was handsome in his formal clothes, tall and strong with sandy brown hair and green eyes that had always made her feel safe. He had protected her countless times from wolves who looked down on Omegas. He had brought her flowers when she was sad. He had kissed her under the stars and whispered that she was the only one he wanted. But as Damien walked down the center aisle, he did not look at Luna. His eyes were fixed straight ahead, his expression serious in a way that made Luna's stomach tighten with sudden worry. The ceremony began with Alpha Marcus's traditional speech about the importance of mates, about how the moon goddess chose pairs that would strengthen the pack. Then came the moment Luna had been waiting for. The unmated wolves of mating age were called forward, one by one, to see if any bonds would form or if any choices would be declared. Luna waited, her heart pounding so hard she was sure everyone could hear it. When her name was called, she stepped forward with her head held high despite her Omega status. She was not ashamed of who she was. Damien had taught her that. He had told her that rank did not matter when it came to true feeling. The rejection. Luna, Omega healer of Silvercrest Pack, Alpha Marcus announced. Do you feel a mate bond with any wolf present? Yes, Alpha, Luna said, her voice steady even though her hands were shaking. With Beta Damien. The hall went silent. Every eye turned to Damien, who still had not looked at Luna. Alpha Marcus raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised. Apparently, Damien had not told his Alpha about his relationship with an Omega. Beta Damien, Alpha Marcus said slowly. Do you confirm this bond? Damien finally looked at Luna, and what she saw in his eyes made her blood run cold. There was no love there. No worms. Just cold calculation and something that looked almost like pity. No, Alpha, Damien said clearly. I do not feel any bond with this Omega. The words hit Luna like a physical blow. She stumbled back a step, unable to believe what she was hearing. This had to be a mistake. Damien loved her. He had promised her. For 3 years, he had been by her side. Damien? Luna whispered, her voice breaking. What are you doing? You promised me. You said when I turned 18. I said many things. Damien interrupted, his tone bored, as if he were discussing the weather rather than destroying her entire world. But I never officially claimed you, Luna. We were never truly promised. You are an Omega. Did you really think I would choose you over someone of proper rank? The hall erupted in whispers and gasps. Luna felt every eye on her, felt the weight of their judgment and pity. She wanted to sink into the floor and disappear. Then who do you claim, Beta Damien? Alpha Marcus asked, and Luna could hear anger in the Alpha's voice. He did not appreciate being surprised in his own ceremony. Damien turned and walked directly to Celeste, who smiled as if she had been expecting this. He took her hand and raised it high. I claim Celeste, daughter of Alpha Marcus, as my chosen mate. The truth revealed. The shock in the hall was immediate. Even Alpha Marcus looked stunned. But Celeste just smiled wider, and Luna suddenly understood. This had been planned. Celeste had wanted Damien, and she always got what she wanted. And Damien, ambitious beta that he was, had seen an opportunity to rise higher in the pack by mating with the Alpha's daughter. Luna had been nothing but a convenient distraction for 3 years. Something to pass the time with until something better came along. You lied to me? Luna said, her voice stronger now, fueled by growing anger beneath the pain. For 3 years, you lied to me. You made me promises. You made me believe. Believe what? Celeste interrupted, laughing cruelly. That a beta would actually choose an Omega? Luna, you were foolish to think you were anything more than practice for him. Damien needed someone to learn romance with before courting someone who actually mattered. You should be honored you served that purpose. The pack members laughed. Not all of them, but enough that Luna felt the sound like knives cutting her skin. These were wolves she had healed, wolves whose children she had treated, wolves she had considered her community. And they were laughing at her pain. I reject this public humiliation of a pack member. Elder Sarah spoke up from the side of the hall. She was one of the few who had always been kind to Omegas. Luna has served this pack faithfully as a healer. She deserved honesty, not cruelty. She is an Omega, Alpha Marcus said, though he looked uncomfortable. She should have known better than to reach above her station. Beta Damien is free to choose as he wishes. The ceremony continues. Stripped of everything. Luna wanted to run, wanted to flee the hall and never come back. But her legs would not move. She stood frozen as Damien and Celeste were officially bonded. As they kissed in front of everyone. As the pack cheered for them. She stood frozen as her entire future crumbled around her. After the ceremony ended, Luna finally moved. She walked slowly toward the exit, ignoring the stares and whispers. But before she could leave, Celeste stepped in front of her, Damien at her side. Oh, Luna, Celeste said with false sweetness. I forgot to mention, as the future Luna of this pack, I have been given authority over Omega assignments. And I am afraid we will need to replace you as head healer. An Omega who makes such poor judgments about her place in the pack cannot be trusted with important medical decisions. You cannot do that, Luna said, anger finally breaking through her shock. I have trained for years. I am the best healer this pack has had in decades. Elder Sarah herself trained me. Elder Sarah is retired, Celeste said coldly, all pretense of sweetness gone. And I can do whatever I want. You are being reassigned to laundry duty, effective immediately. Your cottage will be given to the new healer we will hire. You have until tomorrow to move your belongings to the Omega barracks. Luna looked at Damien, desperately hoping he would say something, would defend her, would show even the smallest hint of the man she thought she had known. But Damien just looked away, his jaw tight, refusing to meet her eyes. This is not just about rejecting me, Luna said quietly, understanding dawning. You both planned this. You wanted to break me completely. Why? What did I ever do to either of you? You existed where you should not have, Celeste said simply. You made Damien look weak by association. Everyone knew he was spending time with an Omega. That is not the image I want for my future mate. So yes, Luna, I planned this. I convinced Damien that choosing me would give him power he could never have with you. And I made sure everyone in this pack saw you rejected and humiliated so thoroughly that you would never dare reach above your station again. Consider it a lesson. The breaking point. Luna ran then, unable to hold back her tears any longer. She fled the pack house and ran through the territory until she reached her cottage. Once inside, she collapsed on the floor and sobbed until she had no tears left. Everything was gone. Her mate, her position, her home, her dignity. 3 years of her life had been a lie. Damien had never loved her. He had used her, and worse, he had let Celeste destroy her completely without even trying to defend her. When darkness fell, Luna gathered the few belongings that truly mattered to her. Her mother's journal, the healing books Elder Sarah had given her, some clothes. She could not stay in Silvercrest Pack. Not after this. She would rather die alone in the forest than spend her life doing laundry while watching Damien and Celeste rule the pack together. Into the Forbidden Forest. The Forbidden Forest bordered Silvercrest territory to the north. All pack members were warned never to enter it. Strange things lived in those woods. Rogues, feral wolves, and darker creatures that even alphas feared. But Luna did not care anymore. If something killed her in the forest, at least it would be a faster end than the slow death of humiliation she faced if she stayed. She walked for hours in the darkness, letting the trees swallow her. Her Omega senses picked up danger all around her. The sounds of creatures moving in the shadows, the scent of predators on the hunt. But nothing attacked her. Perhaps even the monsters of the forest could sense she was already broken. Finally, exhausted and bleeding from scratches where branches had torn her skin, Luna collapsed in a small clearing. She looked up at the moon and felt anger replace her despair. She was angry at Damien for lying to her, angry at Celeste for destroying her, angry at the pack for laughing. But most of all, she was angry at herself for being so foolish. I will not die here, she whispered to the moon. I refuse to let them win. I refuse to let this be the end of my story. Good, a deep voice said from the shadows. Because I was hoping you would say that. The mysterious stranger. Luna scrambled to her feet, her heart racing. A figure stepped out from between the trees, and even in the darkness, Luna could see he was massive. Tall and powerfully built, with dark hair and eyes that seemed to glow silver in the moonlight. The power radiating from him was unlike anything Luna had ever felt. This was an alpha, but not just any alpha. This was something far more dangerous. Who are you? Luna demanded, trying to sound brave even though fear was coursing through her veins. My name is Cade, the stranger said, moving closer. And you, little Omega, are trespassing in my territory. These woods belong to me. Usually I kill trespassers. But tonight I am curious. What drives a Silvercrest Omega to walk into the Forbidden Forest alone? Surely you know the stories about what lives here. I know the stories, Luna said, lifting her chin despite her fear. I do not care. There is nothing in these woods worse than what I left behind. Cade laughed, a sound that was both amused and slightly sad. Rejected, were you? Let me guess. You fell in love with someone above your rank. He promised you forever. Then he chose someone more appropriate and left you with nothing. How did you know? Luna asked, shocked. Because that is what alphas and betas do, Cade said bitterly. They take what they want from Omegas and give nothing in return. They treat you as less than pack members when you are the ones who hold packs together. Healers, teachers, caretakers, all crucial roles filled by Omegas who are treated as disposable. Luna stared at this strange alpha who spoke like he understood, like he had seen this happen before. Why do you care? You are an alpha. You are part of the system that allows this. I was an alpha, Cade corrected. I was the Alpha King, actually. I ruled over 12 packs, including yours, until I was betrayed and exiled by wolves I trusted. Now I live in these woods, and I watch packs destroy their own members and call it tradition. It sickens me. The Alpha King. Luna had heard stories about him, about how he had disappeared 5 years ago after some kind of scandal. The council had declared him dead and appointed a new king. But here he stood very much alive. The offer. I did not come here looking for sympathy, Luna said. I came here to either survive or die. If you are going to kill me, then do it. I am too tired to run. I am not going to kill you, Cade said, his expression serious. I am going to make you an offer, Luna of Silvercrest. I can give you power. Real power, not the false promises of ambitious betas. I can teach you to fight, to lead, to become strong enough that no one will ever humiliate you again. And in return, you will help me reclaim my throne and destroy the corrupt system that allows packs to treat Omegas as expendable. Why would you help me? Luna asked suspiciously. What do you really want? Cade smiled, and for the first time, Luna saw sadness in his silver eyes. Because I am tired of being alone. Because I need allies who understand betrayal. And because, little Omega, I can smell potential in you. You are not ordinary. You are something rare. Something special. You just do not know it yet. Luna looked at this exiled king. This dangerous stranger who offered her everything she thought she had lost. It was probably a trap. It was probably a lie, just like Damien's promises. But standing in that clearing, with nothing left to lose, Luna made a choice. I accept, she said firmly. Teach me. Make me strong. And when I am ready, I will help you reclaim your throne. But I want something in return. I want revenge on the wolves who destroyed me. I want Damien and Celeste to regret what they did. Can you give me that? Cade's smile widened, and his eyes gleamed with something dangerous and promising. Oh, little Omega, I can give you so much more than revenge. I can give you justice, and I can give you the power to make sure no Omega ever suffers what you suffered. But be warned, this path will change you. You will never be the gentle healer again. You will become something harder, something fiercer. Are you certain this is what you want? Luna thought about the pack that had laughed at her pain. She thought about Damien's cold eyes and Celeste's cruel smile. She thought about spending her life in the Omega barracks doing laundry while watching them rule together. And she felt her decision settle in her bones like steel. I am certain, Luna said. I am done being gentle. I am done being weak. Teach me everything. Cade held out his hand, and when Luna took it, she felt power flow between them like electricity. This was not the gentle warmth of a mate bond. This was something wilder, something ancient, something that recognized her as more than just an Omega to be dismissed. Then we begin tonight, Cade said. Welcome to your new life, Luna. By the time I am finished with you, Silvercrest Pack will not recognize you. And when you return, they will wish they had treated you better. As Luna followed the exiled Alpha King deeper into the forbidden forest, away from everything she had known, she felt the first spark of hope she had felt since the ceremony. She had lost everything in one terrible night. But perhaps, just perhaps, that was not an ending. Perhaps it was the beginning of something far more powerful. Luna woke to pain. Every muscle in her body screamed in protest as she tried to sit up. Her first week of training with Cade had been brutal beyond anything she had imagined. She looked down at her hands and saw calluses forming where soft healer's hands had been. Her arms were covered in bruises from combat practice. Her legs ached from running for hours through the forest. Cade's den was hidden deep in the forbidden forest, a cave system that had been expanded and modified over years. It was surprisingly comfortable, with rooms carved into the stone, furs for warmth, and even a natural hot spring for bathing. Cade had lived here for 5 years, preparing for his eventual return to power. Up! Cade's voice called from outside her room. Dawn training begins in 10 minutes. You have time to eat, nothing more. Luna dragged herself out of bed and found the simple breakfast Cade had left for her. Meat, eggs, bread, protein, and energy. Everything was calculated to build her strength. As an Omega, she had always been naturally smaller and weaker than alphas and betas. But Cade was teaching her that size did not determine strength. Speed, strategy, and skill could overcome raw power if used correctly. She dressed in the training clothes Cade had given her, simple leather pants and a tunic that allowed free movement. Then she joined him in the clearing outside the cave where they trained every morning. "Today we work on pressure points," Cade announced, circling her like a predator. "A wolf twice your size has weak spots. The neck, the joints, the soft tissue beneath the ribs. You cannot overpower a beta like Damien in direct combat. But you can disable him in seconds if you know where to strike. Watch carefully. Learning to fight." The next 3 months passed in a blur of training. Cade pushed Luna harder than she had ever been pushed in her life. Combat training in the mornings, strategy lessons in the afternoons, pack politics and leadership theory in the evenings. Luna learned how to fight with weapons with her hands in wolf form and human form. She learned how packs were really run, how power structures worked, how to identify weakness and exploit it. But more than physical training, Cade taught her about confidence. He made her stand taller, speak louder, demand respect rather than hope for it. He showed her that Omega instincts to submit were just instincts, not laws. They could be controlled, overridden, used strategically rather than being controlled by them. "Dominance is not about size," Cade told her one evening as they sat by the fire. "It is about certainty. An alpha dominates because they are certain of their right to lead. You were taught that Omegas should be uncertain, should question themselves, should defer. But Luna, if you walk into a room certain of your power, certain of your right to be there, certain that you deserve respect, others will feel that certainty and respond to it. Belief creates reality in pack dynamics." Luna absorbed everything like a dry plant finally receiving water. She had spent her whole life being told she was less than others. Now Cade was teaching her that those teachings were lies designed to keep Omegas controlled and useful. One night, for months into her training, something changed. Luna was practicing forms when she felt heat building inside her, starting in her chest and spreading through her whole body. Her skin began to glow with a faint silver light. "Cade!" she called out, frightened. "Something is wrong. What is happening to me?" The hidden truth. Cade rushed over and stared at her, his expression shocked. Then slowly, a smile spread across his face. "Nothing is wrong, Luna. Something is very, very right. You are shifting." "I am already in human form," Luna said, confused. "Not that kind of shifting," Cade said excitedly. "Luna, you are beginning your first true shift. You are not a regular Omega. You are a silver wolf." "What is a silver wolf?" Luna asked as the heat intensified and the silver glow grew brighter. "A silver wolf is the rarest type of shifter," Cade explained quickly. "They appear perhaps once in a generation, maybe less. Silver wolves are stronger than regular wolves, faster, more powerful. They have abilities that normal shifters do not. Healing powers that go beyond what regular healers can do. Enhanced senses. The ability to influence other wolves through their voice alone. Luna, this is why you survived what happened. This is why you had the strength to walk into the Forbidden Forest when most Omegas would have given up. You were never just an Omega. You were a silver wolf trapped in Omega form because you did not know what you were." The silver light exploded outward, and Luna felt her body changing. But this was different from a normal shift. This was like being reborn. When the light faded, she stood on 4 legs, but her wolf form was completely different. Her fur was pure silver, shimmering in the moonlight. She was larger than she had been before, nearly the size of a beta, and she felt power coursing through her that she had never experienced. She looked at her reflection in a nearby pool of water and gasped. Her wolf eyes were the same silver as her fur, glowing with an inner light. She looked like something from legends, like the ancient wolves from stories told to children. "This is who you really are," Cade said softly, shifting into his own wolf form beside her. His alpha wolf was massive and dark, but even he looked impressed by Luna's transformation. "This is what Silvercrest Pack rejected. They are fools, Luna, and when you return, they will see exactly what they lost." The mate bond discovery. Over the following weeks, As Luna learned to control her new silver wolf abilities, she and Cade grew closer. Their training sessions became less formal. They talked for hours about their pasts, their hopes, their anger at how they had been betrayed. Cade told her about the wolves who had conspired to exile him, spread lies about him, stolen his throne. Luna told him every detail of her relationship with Damien, the promises he had made, the humiliation of the rejection. One evening, 6 months into her training, they were sparring when Luna accidentally cut Cade with her claws. It was a shallow wound, nothing serious, but Luna immediately reached out to heal it with her new silver wolf healing abilities. The moment her hand touched his skin, power exploded between them. Both of them froze as the mate bond snapped into place with overwhelming force. It was nothing like the gentle connection Luna had hoped to feel with Damien. This was fire and lightning, earth and sky, two pieces of a puzzle clicking together so perfectly that Luna wondered how she had not felt it before. "You are my mate," Cade said, his voice filled with wonder and something like fear. "The moon goddess chose you for me." "I felt it," Luna whispered, pulling her hand back, her heart racing. "But Cade, I do not know if I can do this. My heart is still damaged from Damien. I do not know if I can trust another male, even if he is my true mate." Cade nodded slowly, understanding in his silver eyes. "I will not push you, Luna. The mate bond is real, but that does not mean you must accept it before you are ready. Take whatever time you need. We will continue your training. We will reclaim my throne. And if someday you decide you can trust me with your heart, I will be here. If you never decide that, I will still be here. You are more than just my mate. You are my partner, my equal, and I will wait as long as you need." His words, his patience, his refusal to demand anything from her despite the mate bond pulling them together, touched something deep in Luna's guarded heart. This was what real love looked like. Not Damien's false promises and manipulation, but genuine respect and partnership. "Thank you," Luna said quietly, "for understanding, for not being like him." "I will never be like him," Cade promised. "That you can trust." Building power and alliances. As Luna's training continued, Cade began introducing her to his network of allies. There were other exiled wolves, those who had been wronged by the current corrupt council that ruled the packs. There were rogues who respected Cade's fairness and strength. There were even some pack members who secretly disagreed with how things were run but were too afraid to speak up. Luna attended secret meetings, learned pack politics from wolves with decades of experience, and slowly built her own reputation. Word spread of the silver wolf training with the exiled king. Wolves who had never paid attention to Omegas before suddenly wanted to meet her, to see if the stories were true. Luna learned to navigate these political waters carefully. She was charming when she needed to be, intimidating when necessary, always strategic. She was no longer the naive healer who had believed Damien's lies. She was becoming a leader in her own right. 1 year after leaving Silvercrest Pack, Cade decided it was time to make their move. He had gathered enough allies, enough proof of the council's corruption, enough support from powerful wolves. He would challenge the false king and reclaim his throne. And Luna would stand beside him as his partner and, if she chose, his Luna Queen. "Are you ready?" Cade asked her the night before they would leave the Forbidden Forest and begin their campaign. "Once we start this, there is no going back. You will be in danger. There will be wolves who try to hurt you to get to me. Are you prepared for that?" Luna looked at herself in the mirror. She barely recognized the wolf staring back. Her body was lean and strong now, muscled from training. Her dark hair had streaks of silver running through it, a mark of her silver wolf nature. Her eyes held confidence and determination where fear and hurt had once lived. She was not the broken Omega who had fled into the forest. She was something new, something powerful. "I am ready," Luna said firmly. "But Cade, before we face the council, before we begin the real fight, there is something I need to do first. I need to return to Silvercrest Pack. I need to face Damien and Celeste. I need them to see what they created when they destroyed me. The plan for return." Cade studied her carefully. This is about more than revenge, is it not? This is about closure. About proving to yourself that you have truly moved beyond what they did. Yes, Luna admitted. And it is about exposing them. Cade, during my time as healer, I saw things. Damien was stealing from the pack treasury. Small amounts that he thought no one would notice, but I kept the medical accounts. I know the numbers did not match. And Celeste was manipulating her father, pushing him to make decisions that weakened the pack and strengthened her position. If we expose them before we challenge the council, we show everyone that the corruption runs through all levels. We show that the system that rejected me is the same system that allowed thieves and manipulators to gain power. Cade's expression filled with pride and something warmer. You have become a brilliant strategist, Luna. Very well. We will return to Silvercrest first. But we do this carefully. You will return not as a broken Omega begging for acceptance, but as my Luna Queen. You will return with power and authority that cannot be questioned. And they will understand what they lost. Luna felt her heart skip at his words. Your Luna Queen? Cade, I have not fully accepted the mate bond yet. I am not ready to. You do not have to accept the mate bond to be my queen, Cade interrupted gently. In the old ways, before modern packs corrupted everything, Alpha Kings chose their ruling partners based on ability and trust, not just mate bonds. I am choosing you as my queen, Luna, because you have earned it, because you are strong enough, smart enough, and brave enough to rule beside me. The mate bond is separate. That is between you and me, private, and will develop in its own time. But as my political partner, as my queen, I choose you. Do you accept? Luna felt tears prick her eyes. This was what she had wanted with Damien. True partnership. Real respect. Choice instead of obligation. I accept, Cade. I will be your queen. And I will help you change this broken system. The return to Silvercrest. 2 days later, Luna and Cade approached Silvercrest pack territory with an entourage of 20 wolves. All of them were loyal to Cade, all of them powerful in their own right. They were not an army, but they were an undeniable show of force. Luna rode a white horse, dressed in clothes that proclaimed her status. Deep blue dress with silver threading, a crown of silver flowers in her hair, jewelry that marked her as royalty. She looked every inch a queen. Beside her, Cade rode a black horse, wearing the formal clothes of an Alpha King reclaiming his rightful position. They arrived at midday when the pack would be gathered for the communal meal. Luna's timing was deliberate. She wanted everyone to see her return. She wanted no whispers or rumors. She wanted the entire pack to witness this moment. The pack guards at the border tried to stop them, but one look at Cade's Alpha King aura had them backing down and sending runners to alert Alpha Marcus. By the time Luna and Cade rode into the main square, hundreds of pack members had gathered to see what was happening. Luna spotted familiar faces in the crowd. Omegas she had trained with, pack members she had healed, wolves who had laughed at her rejection. She saw shock on their faces as they recognized her. Some gasped. Some stepped back as if afraid. They barely recognized the confident, powerful woman on the white horse as the broken Omega who had fled a year ago. Then Damien and Celeste emerged from the pack house, Alpha Marcus behind them. Celeste had clearly been in the middle of getting dressed for the meal, her hair half up, her dress not fully fastened. But it was their faces that Luna focused on. The moment they saw her, both went pale. The first confrontation. Luna, Damien said, his voice disbelieving. Is that really you?